Hello and welcome back to our 9th day of Podmas, where we're releasing...
Don't feel like that.
It's only 9 days in, sorry. It's our 9th day Podmas, where we are putting out an episode every day in the lead up to Christmas on the Flicks Forum podcast, where we look at a Netflix original film in the order of release. Today, we have Netflix's 57th film. It's the 2017 Christmas rom-com, A Christmas Prince, directed by Alex Zamm, stars Rose McIver, Ben Lamb, Tom Knight, Sarah Douglas, Daniel Fathers, Alice Krige, and Tahirah Sharif.
We finally have a Christmas film in Podmas.
9 days in. It's good. We've timed this perfectly.
It's perfect. And we have to say that we obviously didn't do this... we wanted to do Podmas, but we didn't plan that the Christmas movies were just going to fall...
We didn't, but so we've got, I think, tomorrow and the next day.
Or 3 in a row, sorry, yeah.
Which is exciting.
Yeah,
Get
so
us into the festive spirit.
This is where everyone's going to be all over Flicks Forum in December.
You better be.
I reckon that, obviously, people will be all over it, knowing what's coming and watching these films, ready to go.
Oh, I hope so.
I love Christmas.
I like Christmas.
This is testing me.
It's not too bad. All right, so we like to start our show with our Fast Flicks, where each of us do a quick little summary of the film. MJ, what's your summary of A Christmas Prince?
Christmas Prince. It's the formulaic rom-com structure performed to a T. The seasoned American journalist accidentally go undercover as a tutor and grows feelings for the man she's supposed to be writing a story on. It's also Christmas. That's it.
Oh, no, how good finish. It's also Christmas. And thanks for telling us that it's Christmas.
It didn't really have to be. No. That's my point.
I have said a journalist goes undercover to find out gossip on a prince. But what will happen when her true identity and feelings are discovered?
It's also Christmas.
Question. Are you sure it's Christmas?
You got to mention that it's Christmas.
It is. It's Christmas.
Did she go undercover though, or did she just? Oh, I guess she
fell
did.
into going undercover. Because she did call her boss and said, "Hey," and the boss was like, "Yeah, it's all right. You just get like 2 weeks in jail. You'll be fine."
Yeah, that was weird, wasn't it?
It's very weird. So we are going to spoil this film. So if you are into a lovely Christmas film to sit around with the family, probably watch it and then
watch
listen.
it now. Watch it tonight. Like, make sure you watch this film whilst it's Christmas, because Christmas films outside of season just don't have the same buzz.
Christmas is 16 days away, so surely you're into it.
Perfect time.
It is
for this kind of movie.
All right, what do we know about this film? Give us some info.
You know what? I've got really, really little. I know where it was filmed in Romania.
Yeah, very pretty location.
It was a very nice location, actually.
Yeah.
In fact, I was surprised that they made the effort to go in. Oh, I guess it's
might
not
be cheap to film in Romania.
It was the same castle where they filmed the movie A Princess for Christmas. It was about 2011. So obviously this castle specialises in Christmas.
Yeah.
But it was a very, very pretty location, very nice.
It's a nice place to be at Christmas. The snow and...
There was a bit of viral love for this film when it came out back in 2017, obviously around the same time as we're doing this right now. But mainly because Netflix revealed a tweet, and I like this, that 53 of its subscribers had watched this film every day over the past 18 days.
That's dedication.
That's unreal. Like, it would have been funny if they had said, like, 2 of them have done it, but 53 of them were just, you know what? I credit them for their love of Christmas, and obviously they're doing whatever they can to get into the holiday mood, and I'm all for it.
I don't know if I could watch this.
I just don't. You know what?
18 days in a row.
Easy to put on, but it's just, I just found that so funny. And you know how Netflix is so coy about releasing anything, kind of data? Every now and then they do it, and they've just got this amazing stat.
This must have done pretty well, because they have a sequel that's out, which we'll get to at some stage soon, and they've announced a 3rd one as well.
So I was obviously aware that they had a sequel.
And it ruined the movie almost.
That's what I was going to say. I knew that it was... I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Like, I made a point of saying that this is like someone's gone screenwriting 101 to write this script. But yeah.
So the sequel's called?
The Royal Wedding.
And the threequel's called?
The Royal Baby.
So I'm guessing the wedding goes okay.
We'll get to the wedding in, next year at some point for our podcast. And I think we're going to know that they're going to stay together throughout it. But I reckon there'll be some sort of hiccup in their relationship.
What about the baby? What's going to be the hiccup with the baby?
True, yeah. Maybe they're going to get a bit darker in the third one.
I liked it. There was a bit of stuff online about this. People are like, oh, you can't take this seriously because when a king dies, the son automatically becomes the king. You don't have these, where he has to, renounce the throne and all this sort of stuff.
He's got 12 months to figure it out.
Because the coronation is, as a definition, is not a requirement for ascending to the throne because the power just goes immediately.
Right, so it's like a will where it's next of kin, regardless.
Yeah. But what was the place called?
Aldovia?
Aldovia. Based on the location, I'm guessing they make up their own rules.
Absolutely. Well, they make up their own country. So, who was running Aldovia in that time? The Queen? Was that clear?
Yeah. The Prime Minister was pretty
Prime
important.
Minister, true. So they got a bloody Prime Minister and a king.
Yeah.
So they got a bit of everything.
They do.
They need to have a referendum, I reckon.
Anything else?
You know what? For a film that has quite a lot of chatter around it, I found trouble finding much information on it. But I guess let's be honest, they didn't break the bank on making this film. They probably weren't expecting it to get the cult following that it got. So there's just not a lot of thought's the wrong word because I'm going to pay anyone credit for making a film, but they're probably just nothing exciting to comment about.
Yeah, I totally get that. I liked in the credits at the end of the film they had this special thanks to United Airlines. So I don't know whether that you saw lots of shots of the United Airlines.
True, maybe they got some free flights. I mean, obviously, if they were doing New York to Romania for filming, they might have got a nice little leg up there.
I think I read somewhere so everything was filmed. I don't think there was anything that was actually filmed in New York.
Okay. Because everything was filmed in Romania, wasn't it?
Yeah, because a lot of that, I think that was stock footage. Because there were a couple of people that complained and said, look, they couldn't even get the New York shots right because they're like, that was a shot of a building in Chicago.
And the very final, you've said the spoilers, yeah?
Spoilers? I did.
We did, yeah. The very final shot of them standing in the street is so clearly a set. I feel like I've seen this set before. It was so obvious. Which is fine. It's all fine. Like, I don't have an issue with it.
Yeah. So, consensus. This is an interesting one.
What have you got on Rotten Tomatoes?
Rotten Tomatoes.
Critics would have hated it.
It's on 73%.
Critical?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Only on 11. But still, that's enough to get a consensus.
Well done, those critics. Well done. Because, critics are just sometimes can be...
Yeah.
I would never like this film.
Exactly. And the audience, though, was on 48% on 273 ratings.
Yep, that feels about right.
So, IMDb, 5.7 out of 10.
Yep, that's high.
12,000.
Yeah.
And then Letterboxd, what you get?
2.3 on 6,800. Feels more about right. Like, it's obviously not a great critical reception, but this film isn't trying to get a great critical reception. And the people who like it don't like it because it's a great film. They like it because, obviously, it emits an emotional response to them. They can enjoy it. They can laugh with it. They can laugh at it. The film doesn't care if you laugh at it, so...
Exactly. So this was released on the 17th of November 2017 on Netflix.
Prime time, right, to get into that Christmas. You got a month and a bit before Christmas.
I thought it was interesting. It says here that it didn't release till the 25th of December 2018 in Italy.
Really?
Which I thought was weird, and I couldn't find anything like whether they had a theatrical release or... But yeah, it didn't hit Netflix till the 25th of December.
In Italy, and that was a year later.
Yeah, 2018, so over a year later.
So they already knew that it was good, or it was popular elsewhere. Yeah, I've got no idea. You're not going to be watching that movie. You know what? Unless some people... To me, Christmas is all about the lead up to Christmas. Christmas Day is a fun day, but it's an exhausting day for me.
Yeah.
Like family and it's all great, but the fun and the excitement and the magic of Christmas is before Christmas. So I'm not watching Christmas movies on the 25th of December.
No.
And on the 26th, no way.
You're sitting there with your kids.
That's what I think.
Some people have it as a ritual, maybe Christmas Eve.
On the day. Christmas Eve for sure.
Eve, yeah.
Christmas Eve's perfect for it, but Christmas Day...
Yeah, true. It's interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Should we do some early thoughts?
Yeah, let's do it. Actually, what did you think?
I want you... Oh, yeah, all right. I'll go first. So...
Always go first.
I struggled early on with this. Aha! Especially when Amber says, the prince isn't my type. You just knew straight... Like, it was this cliche, like, oh, no, she's going to fall in love with him. But as the movie went on, I just got into this. I was so surprised. Really surprised.
It's not too dissimilar for me. Like, the film leaned really hard into the cues that the audience was expecting.
Yeah.
If you've seen a rom-com, then you kind of knew it was always going to happen, and they didn't pretend like they were going to go on another track. So you basically see every scene before it happened, but it kind of works if you lean in hard enough and the film's already committing to it. The audience can kind of get into it too.
Yep.
So I'm not going to pretend that despite being aware of all this stuff, it didn't trick me. But I wanted them to fall in love. I wanted the villains to get their comeuppance, and I wanted to see a bit of Christmas splash throughout. And it's tick 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 for all that. So I do have not a slight issue with the Christmas element, right? So
Well, yeah, go on.
we're gonna have this discussion. We're gonna do it. We're gonna have what's
like,
Christmas.
what classifies as a Christmas.
But in this sense, I get the feeling like this script was basically like sitting on a blacklist somewhere, and someone's like, make it in December. Make it in December, put some Christmas stuff around it, and you got yourself a Christmas movie. Because there's nothing about this film that had to be Christmas. And I'm not saying it's not a Christmas film, because it is. It's absolutely a Christmas film.
Yeah.
What do you like? To me, a Christmas film is basically a film that's set during Christmas. And I'm okay with that. Home Alone Christmas film, Die Hard Christmas film for me.
Yep.
What about you?
Yeah, there are a lot of plot points around this to do with family and needing to be together for Christmas, like Amber with her dad, and don't want to leave you because I'm doing this job over Christmas. So I think they had this specific date that they had to announce when it was Christmas Eve or whatever it was.
I think it was Christmas Day, wasn't it? They were doing it.
So there were some quite random sorts of things, but it's a tough one.
I'm not mad at it.
No.
That's the thing. I'm not mad at it, but I'm just like, maybe I'm going to write a really cheesy rom-com, and when someone says this is not going to work, I'll be like, but it's in December, and they're buying Christmas presents, and it just kind of works.
Because if you make this like, a summer prince and you have no snow, just this bare castle with, I don't think it works. Like
I know, but you know what? The script doesn't change.
No.
There's nothing about the script or the story that makes Christmas relevant. Look at like Jingle All the Way, right?
Yep.
That has to be Christmas.
Yeah.
Deck the Halls is about putting lights on your house. It has to be Christmas.
The cranks, those.
There's little things like that where... and I don't care either way. But I get the feeling that they're just like, let's just make it in December and it's going to actually sell.
I think it works.
So do I.
Let's talk about some characters.
Yep.
You got to talk about Amber to start off with, I think.
Well, yeah, for half the bloody film I was calling her Martha. So, because that was the name she was going by.
Yeah.
And I didn't remember what her real name was. She felt a little bit more damsel in distress than career-driven journalist to me.
Okay.
Not that she was overly damsel in distress, but she certainly wasn't. She didn't act like the career-driven journalist that she said she was.
No, and I think that's because she was too nice.
Yeah.
You can't, they
Wrong
make
industry.
it out, yeah. Like, for her to succeed in that industry, she's got to be willing to hurt people and upset people. And, and it's tricky because the reason that, as an audience, you want to like her is based on this deceit that she's a nanny. So you want her to do well, even though she's playing a lie, which is tricky. So she is doing that role that she needs to do, but at the same time, she was just too nice.
I did like her. I just didn't necessarily believe her.
No, she never did anything bad to anyone or had any intention of wanting to hurt anyone. She was just this.
You almost get the feeling that she's the kind of person that wouldn't have snuck up the back.
Yeah, and they made a big there's that doorway. People are going in. It was like
time to does it. But she didn't. Yeah, she was fine. She was just. She was a character. Like
she was the main character you were going for.
And she was fine. Like I'm not going to say that there was more to her than fine.
Okay, all right. What about the prince?
Prince Richard.
Richard.
Yeah, I actually really liked him.
Yeah,
I thought he was very charismatic. He had a good sense of humour. He had obviously no sense of privilege, which was kind of the main things of appeal with him. And I can understand how girls watching this probably would have found him pretty dreamy.
Yeah, I just thought he was a lovable guy. Like,
he was.
You see him playing with these kids at this orphanage or whatever it was, and how did the press...
That was almost too much, isn't it? What can we make him do that's really good? It's playing with orphans. It's too much.
But then, how did the press manage to have all these horrible stories on him? Like, oh, he's a playboy, oh, he does this... It's like, I haven't seen anything but him being a nice guy.
It's actually very true. I forgot about all that.
It was, anyway.
But he was good, like... I didn't cling on to anybody until he came along. And I was like, okay, I can watch this guy. You obviously knew it was him with the beard at the start.
Oh, that was so obvious. Oh, you stole my car. It's very.
But they didn't even try and not make, and I'm okay with that.
And how rubbish was his fake beard?
I know.
Just like got some tufts of hair and just stuck it on his face. What about Emily, the sister of the prince?
So the princess.
Yeah, true. That's probably probably a good way to.
I thought she was engaging and really impressive. I feel like this role could have been very run of the mill, but she brought a lot out of it. What's her name? Is Anna.
Oh yes,
Anna Neefsey.
Okay.
Excuse that pronunciation if I'm wrong, but I thought she made that role stand out and had a lot more legs than it could have had.
I really liked, and I think a part of why I liked her, like you're saying, is that sometimes you've got, this sister who's going to challenge the love interest the whole time, whereas she challenged her once straight away with the mouse and then realised, okay, she's not like everyone else, so I'll be on her side. And I liked that, after that, she was nice, she got along with her, she kept the secret.
Yep.
She was there for her. She just enjoyed having someone that looked at her as a human being, really.
She made it... It was interesting because you make it more impactful that you show her as this little bitch at the start, and like that all the other tutors have left, and they're like, oh, this girl's going to be trouble. So when she does come around, it's not just like, oh, this girl's a sweet little angel all along. It actually makes it more worthwhile.
And it wasn't too bad because it wasn't like, they didn't prolong it. They
didn't overdo it there. I thought we're going to watch half an hour now of her having to deal with this bratty little kid. Yeah, that's true. Good point.
What other characters have you got?
We've got Simon.
Yep.
So Simon for me was basically just a parody for everything that's wrong with preppy, privileged, advanced society.
Yep.
Like it was just too much sometimes.
Yeah. It was just this jealous jerk.
It was not real. Like that person surely doesn't exist.
And I feel like his counters Sophia. I feel like you can put her in the same boat.
My issue with her was that she should have been introduced or referenced earlier to have more impact. Because by the time she came in, I was already on board with Simon being the villain.
Yeah.
And she kind of played an even bigger role in that. They could have at least mentioned Sophia early on about his ex-girlfriend and you're like, oh, this is coming. Because then she took over really quickly.
Yeah.
And I didn't have enough time to let her resonate or simmer.
True, and you're already rooting for Amber and him to get together. So bringing her in after, or if you had her, there beforehand, maybe there'd be
there's a little bit more
tension about if they're going to get together.
Yeah, there's some girl that's kind of half on the scene, half not on the scene.
Yeah. I did enjoy that Mrs. Averill chick too.
Did you?
Yeah, I thought in charge of the house, there need to be some sort of stability in that house, like some sort of, because whenever Emily and Richard were together, they were just giggling, laughing, brother and sister, a bit of fun, and then as much as you want Martha or Amber to fit in, she's just this klutz. Like she just falls over, trips over, does whatever. So it was just nice to have this person. I was like, okay, this is how things go. I can guide you where to go.
I never really thought that she was supposed to kind of be this voice of reason. What are you doing? But you never felt like she was actually like evil or anything like that.
No, not at all. And I don't think there are any. Like I didn't even find Simon and Sophia as really evil characters. They were just a little bit.
They were though. Like they were the villains.
Yeah, they were the villains. Yes, but I didn't find them.
We're just coming off a Brazilian Western film where
yesterday
the villains in that film were real villains.
Yeah. True.
So everything seems better in perspective.
Yeah. Any other characters?
There's not for me. No.
All right. Well, what about the director? I thought this was an interesting sort of filmography from this guy.
It was
Alex Zamm.
He's done lots of stuff.
Yeah. A lot of direct video sort of films.
Yeah, just like
streaming films.
A lot of Christmas stuff too. Like specifically Christmas stuff.
Inspector Gadget 2 was one of the ones that stood out. And then also Woody Woodpecker movie. Like this film fits perfectly to what he does.
Right in his hitting zone.
Yeah.
But nothing, he certainly hasn't got into those big films where you're like, oh yeah, I've seen that film.
Nah. Oh, I've seen Inspector Gadget 2.
I don't think I have.
It was made in Australia.
That doesn't mean I've seen it.
All right. What about the cast? I think that this film wouldn't work with anyone that you'd actually know, bigger names. Like you don't want to be putting in an Angelina Jolie or
half
Brad
of the
Pitt
appeal of this film is that you roll your eyes and you laugh at it, and you can't do that if they're trying to be really serious with a really good actor.
Yep.
So that's a good point. But I can't see this film being anyone's breakout role either. And
No.
it's not nothing wrong with them, nothing wrong with the actors. It's just this film doesn't give you any room to grow. I don't think studios are watching this going, oh, geez, Rose McIver, isn't she something? Not that she did anything wrong,
No,
but it's just
yeah.
a shocking role.
No, you're a bit more negative on this than I thought you were going to be. I thought you were going to be
No,
all
but-
over this.
Yeah, but it is what it is.
Yeah, no, exactly. All right, what about some scenes? What did you like?
Well, some of the scenes that I'm going to mention here weren't necessarily good or bad. So when I say they were good, it's not because I thought they were a good scene. It's just something that I wanted to bring up. So I didn't feel strong about the scene either way, but I just kind of had to bring them up. So I don't even know if they're good or bad.
That's
but
okay.
these are my good ones.
Yeah.
I like the advice she got from her father at the start when he said, "Take a risk, make us proud." That's what I'm talking about. Like the little
He
things.
was a good father. He gave lots of good advice.
He was a good father.
Whenever
though.
you need, give him a buzz. Yep, just follow your heart.
Always
Okay,
a-
I'll do that, Dad.
Yeah, it was good. When Emily found out that she was not a tutor, she struck up like the best deal you could ever imagine with Emily. Like,
Just write it.
so you can write your story. I'm not going to tell anyone, but you got to keep having fun with me. It's like, oh, okay, that sounds great.
Be truthful with my brother. He's not a playboy.
It was the best situation. I'm like, oh, she got found out nice and early. How's this going to play out?
Yeah.
No, that was a little bit too easy. I did like the scene with Richard and his mum when she was kind of by the fireplace that night and kind of, you know, you got to figure out what you're doing. You know, I needed you and you left. You know, it's been a really hard year. And just the whole, like, I'm trying, mother. And she said, like, I have faith in you. I kind of thought that it was going to go the other way and she was going to scold him. But that was a nice little scene between the two of them. I thought the adoption story was kind of a nice twist. Like, I wasn't expecting them to think up something like that.
Yeah.
It was a slight sort of point difference from the standard rom-com formula, even though you did sort of need a reason for Simon to have more right to the throne. But I didn't see them thinking about an adoption story, so I'm going to give that a tick.
Good. I like a big tick.
I liked it when Emily gave Martha that present.
Yeah, it was cute to remind them.
It was just really sweet.
Yeah, it was.
Really sweet.
I'd like to know how she managed to buy it and pick it out herself, because Martha's pretty much
Online.
online. Oh, okay. Oh, good. This new
Surely.
world.
Online. And finally, I just love that Simon and Sophia actually got married. Because I hated them both, and they didn't. And Sophia obviously didn't want to be with him, and they got married before they had the coronation,
Yeah.
which is just funny. Because as soon as they got married, I'm like, "This is going to blow up in your
Yeah,
face."
I need
So
a divorce lawyer.
I'm glad that they got married. Actually, I did have. So this is the final scene. Goes from good to bad.
Okay.
So I like the final scene when Richard rocked up and he threw the snowball. I got the feels a little bit, you know, like,
Yeah.
all right, you got me. I needed that. That's nice. But then he proposed.
Yeah.
Like, he could have just said, like, hey, let's date. And I would have felt great.
He's a prince.
I don't think he even knows their name. Like-
Your real name.
I don't know. He didn't need to propose for mine.
I've got that in my forgettable scenes too.
Yeah.
That's the proposal at the end is just too much. It's
way too much.
Way over the top.
It was so cute when he threw that snowball when
Yeah.
she came outside. And then she said yes. I thought she was going to be like, no, but.
He was down on his knee for a while too.
He was.
All right, my turn for
Your
some
turn.
standout scenes. Standout scenes. There are a few that I don't know whether I liked them because they remind me of Beauty and the Beast, but I was just like in on it. So, you know, there's this scene where they go outside and do this archery together, and I'm like, this just reminds me of the Beast and Belle out in the garden of the castle, and then
You bang on there.
and then the same thing happened again. She gets on a horse, gets lost in the woods, falls over. There's a dog that's ready to get her. I'm like, oh, the Beast is going to come. The prince saves her. So I don't know if that's just because I've got this love of Beauty and the Beast, but these two scenes that were just like, oh, this is Beauty and the Beast for me.
It's a very good call.
So
And as I said before, watching this back to back with The Killer,
a completely different film.
seeing when she fell over and there was like that lion, that, what was it, jaguar or whatever it was that was going to get her. And my head was still in The Killer, and I'm like, oh, she's gone here. Someone's going to shoot this thing and they're going to eat someone. And then he just sort of whisk away on the horse, just fired his gun in the air.
Yeah.
It was as violent as he got.
Oh, what a babe. I liked the awkward scenes with Martha, like tripping, falling, slipping. I was just like, it was just predictable.
You liked her?
I did. I don't know why, because this, like, when I saw this movie, I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to like this. And
You got a bit annoyed when I didn't like her. So I can tell you like
I do. I like Martha. I like the toboggan scene in the snow. I thought that was really cute.
It's cute, yeah.
And it shows that the mum had this good side too, because she came back, she's ready to scold him, and then instead of going heavy, she's like, just next time invite me. Like,
but we all knew that was coming though. Did you know
that was just nice.
It was nice.
It was nice.
It was nice.
I thought the truth about the prince's blood's revealed. I really liked when he just didn't even, like, the mum takes him aside. He didn't even second guess it. He's just like, look, I'm never going to leave you. You're my mother. And I just thought that was really nice.
Yeah.
And finally, the acorn thing, that got me. I didn't see that coming.
That was clever, yeah.
Yeah, like, we spoke about the adoption thing, but then when she's sitting there at the airport... And
I forgot about that stupid poem as well.
Yeah, and the dad's like, something about seeds, and she's like, just got this, I got to go. And I was like, the acorn. And then, like, that whole dramatic scene of her opening the acorn to find this bit of paper, I was just like...
The one thing I was thinking all along, surely that the old king obviously knows he's adopted. Surely he's going to, in his time, change that, like...
The rule.
Law, yeah. Like, he's going to just change it. That's what I was thinking the whole time. Like, why didn't he just change it? And then he did.
That was the Christmas present for the wife.
Yeah, it was better that way. Yeah. But the whole time I'm thinking, like, come on, King Richard, you're apparently a great man.
Yeah. All right, what are some other things that you want to forget?
Yep. At the very start, when her boss pulls her in and says, so how much do you know about the royal family in Aldovia? And, like, she knows everything. I was like, come on. Like, is this obscure little country that you know everything about their royal family?
Yeah, why not?
Thank God. It annoyed me when she walked in on Richard played First Noel on piano.
Yeah, how good is he on the piano?
He's playing it like what a 10-year-old would play, and she walks in and goes, you're really talented. And the guy's like, the First Noel on the piano, come on.
Oh, I can't play the piano, sir.
No, I know. It's not like he was punching out Beethoven or something.
I'm loving this.
The overacting on the reporters.
Oh, yeah.
Will the coronation be rescheduled? Who will run the country?
I thought that press conference was horrible. It was so lame. It was just, they're all so impatient. It was so unbelievable. Yeah.
What about when Sophia goes all Sharpay and goes, something about Miss Martha isn't right? It reminded me when Sharpay exposed Gabriella as being, like, really good at maths and science. Come on, this is High School Musical.
You're hating on this.
These are scenes. As I said, I didn't like hate them, but I was like, come on.
Fair enough.
This was one of the worst acting performances. When she submitted her story and quit her job, the overacting on her boss was unbearable. Like, laughable how bad her boss was in that scene. That's all I got. That was fun to talk through.
That was some good scenes.
They were fun
thoroughly
scenes.
Enjoyed that.
But that's what the film was. So that's why I said I didn't hate or love these scenes. They're never going to come back as, like, this is the worst scene ever.
No. Yeah.
But
I'm probably the same. Like, I don't have any scenes that I really hated. They're just little things that I was like, they're a little bit weird.
yeah. What are we? What are they?
So, yeah, I had the press conference scene as well, which was just...
Both press conferences.
Yeah. And even when she's in the car with the other journalist, I'm just like, you're so different to these guys. There were some sort of establishing shots of the castle, like these high angle shots of the castle that I was like, that just looks like a model. I swear they had a model like
they wear all
of that castle, and it did my head in. There was this joke that Emily, when they're out playing archery, and then Emily makes this joke about the mum going to cut the prince's dick off. She's like, it was like a really subtle little joke. I was like, that was a little bit. I didn't really like that.
Didn't see where that was coming from.
Yeah, I didn't see that one coming. She didn't say dick, but it was along those lines.
Well, maybe that goes back to him being
a playboy.
Yeah,
true. And then the last one I had was that proposal at the end too. It's just too much.
But you thought it was cute before that, yeah?
That's
more ball in the window.
I was more like interested in seeing the dad's reaction inside.
You know what? I really wanted him to come out or at least see the
hi.
fact that they were engaged. All he just looked out and saw that she was with the dude, and he was like, "Oh, nice."
Yeah,
I'm the same as you actually with that.
Yeah. All right. What was the film trying to say? What are some themes? At least had a few things.
Nice. It wasn't digging too deep.
No,
like
not
it wasn't.
But this is a surface film. It's very everything.
Yeah, it was. I think one of the main things was grief and dealing with loss, and particularly that loss as a family unit. And I like the way that they compare this royal family with this New York daughter and father setup. I really enjoyed how she was unsure about whether she should go because it was Christmas and the dad was, on his own. I really enjoyed that side of it.
I did too. I thought that, this whole idea of getting over that loss and then not running away like he'd previously done, which was nice because, you need to be there with the people together to as a family to help each other through it. And I like that. Yeah, totally agree. What else?
And then it's the whole privilege and opportunity versus normal, and then what is normal. Simon and Sophia, obviously, these privileged jackasses that you're supposed to hate.
I think Sophia wants to be. I don't know if she actually...
True, maybe not, but she acts like it.
She.
Versus, here's the fact that this guy is heir to a throne, and he's like the most personable, casual guy out there.
And I think even Emily hates herself for being, associated with that.
Well, that's why she likes... Amber so much because she treats her like normal. And obviously she's got that disease, which we never really...
They named it. It was like... I've got it in my other notes, Not scoliosis, but yeah.
You have 2 notes for this film?
I do my notes in 2 separate sections.
Do you?
I do, yeah.
That one didn't make the cut, did it?
Didn't make the cut, no.
Final cut. Not unlike her notes when she was writing. So I saw it... I saw it tweet. It's actually really good. It's like... someone screenshotted it when her notes came up, and it says like my notes 4.5 or something, and like the notes are just like unbelievable. She's just like, I think I'm gaining his trust, but I'm not too sure. The coronation is soon. What's he gonna choose? Like it's
that's the type of magazine she wrote for. That's what they want to read.
That's quite true, actually. That's quite true.
There was a bit about taking risks too. They all needed to take their own risks in some way, like. Emily needed to take that risk in trusting someone new. The prince needed to, take that risk in coming back to his family and also, trusting someone who's completely different to the type of person that he's ever been with before.
A lot of risk, you're right, actually.
And then also being true to yourself while taking risks. Like, the prince, he still obviously had the time for the orphans and for the charity work that he does, as well as his mum. Like, he stood by her, so... I still don't get all this bad stuff that the press has on him. Like, I just don't see it.
Well, Emily makes a point of being like, it's not really true, but it would be good if they gave you a slice of why they might have said that.
Yeah. Following your dreams too, having this faith in being able to do what you can do. And the last one, like journalism, they like to give a good whack on journalists being horrible. They think they're called the press parasites. And that sort of goes into with them talking about not worrying about what people think.
That's a paparazzi kind of press, though, as opposed to like a hard-hitting...
Well, she was a journalist. That was a good comparison.
How hard-hitting was she?
Well, she could have gone with the story, but she didn't because she's too nice.
Well, she told the story as it was.
The true story.
Yeah. That's hard-hitting.
What do we take away from this film?
Look, I can't stress enough that this was like a conveyor belt screenwriting 101 type story. So it's got your heroes, it's got your villains, got your cute mates, or your mate cutes, whoever you want to call them. The fact that she's pretending to be someone else, not expecting to fall in love. Even their first kiss was interrupted by those horses. Amber walking in on that kiss with Sophia in the room.
She got pretty dirty on that kiss.
Yeah, of course she did, because that's what's supposed to happen next in the story.
She's doing a job.
But then it was all topped off with her having a makeover before the big ball. Like, I think I just like sat there laughing when the makeover came. Like, oh, good, we didn't have a makeover.
You had to have a staircase to show her off so everyone could look up at how wonderful she looks.
But literally, like, the first thing I thought of was 10 Things I Hate About You, which I saw you've watched recently. Did you watch that recently?
I watched How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days recently. Very close, which is very similar to...
But the same, the same concept of like, oh no, I wasn't supposed to date you, but then... Same with She's All That as well, the other one I thought of. Wasn't supposed to date you, but then I really liked you, and it was a joke, but now it's not a joke.
Yep.
Very predictable, but fine.
Yeah, I thought it was just nice. Like... Perfect spot on streaming. Like
Netflix should, and they will, and they are, continue to invest in Christmas movie. Because people are just going to be like, I just want to watch a Christmas movie. Oh, it's a new Netflix one, so I've never seen it. Done.
Yeah, and I think this is the perfect time to watch it. Like we said at the start, if you haven't seen this, it is Christmas.
Yeah, exactly.
Festive season. You want something nice to, you don't have to worry about too much with the kids for this film. You can sit there with them and walk out of the room and know that they're going to be okay with it.
I love Christmas, and I do enjoy. I think Christmas movies are a big part of enjoying Christmas, and like you've got your you got your go-tos with it, like the two I mentioned before, and even things like The Grinch and Love
I was
Actually.
just about to
and
say The Grinch too, yeah.
even I every year or two I try and watch It's a Wonderful Life as well, but it is nice to sit there and go, there's a brand new Christmas movie that I haven't seen. Could be good. Might not be, but could be good.
I'd much prefer to watch this than the Christmas Carol, the Jim Carrey motion capture one. Like,
Sure, yeah.
This is nice.
Yeah, you know there's nothing that's going to go wrong in this.
No, not at all.
Which is what you want this time of year. It's a busy time of year.
It is. So we're telling you, watch this. IMDb. Did you jump on at any stage?
I didn't, no. And you know what? It's two in a row I haven't jumped on. But there's no one I even semi-recognise in this film.
I did. Rose McIver plays Amber / whatever her other name is. She's Tinkerbell in Once Upon a Time. Like this. So Once Upon a Time was a ABC studio show. Took all these Disney characters and put them into this.
Never watched it, but I didn't mind the concept.
Yeah, Tinkerbell. She was Tinkerbell. So I didn't pick. Like I was like, your face is so familiar.
Quite a big role in that.
She was in it for about 10 episodes or so, like every now and then.
Yeah.
Because the characters would come in and out. So
was she small?
Yes.
Yeah, but I figured she would be.
But then obviously, they have. Yeah.
Like real life personas.
Well.
Yeah, that's right.
No. So so that was what I remembered her from.
Okay, that was it.
Yep, that's all I had. Any questions that you want to ask?
Yeah, just two, and they're both smaller, more situational questions about the film. Surely people are going to be asking more questions about who this random girl dancing with the king to be at his coronation. Like, she just turned up out of the blue and then she was dancing with him.
True.
And no one was just like, who's this? Like, I don't know. That felt weird.
Yeah, maybe they'd seen her around the place because she'd been tutoring.
But wasn't that like quite a big,
Yeah, it's a big. Well, I think there's a lot of big stretches in this film.
No, but I mean, like, that was like a big ceremony. There's lots of people
lots
there,
of
but
people
no one was being like, who is this random girl wearing sneakers dancing with soon-to-be king?
Yep. Good question.
And the other one's very similar. So obviously that whole quorum at the final coronation didn't want Simon to be king.
Yep.
But there was like a clause where it's like, we can't vote unless the quorum turns up.
Correct.
So why'd they all come?
I don't know.
I
Surely they could find some law in there too that said if you don't like that guy, it goes to the daughter or something.
Yeah.
Emily could have had it.
Just got me thinking, because Simon's like, let's do it now. He's like, no, we can't do it unless everyone turns up, or else we got to do it another day. And then everyone turned up and didn't want him. It's like, why'd you turn up?
Yeah.
Bothered me.
Good point. Very good point. Amber's two friends, that worked in the office.
Oh, yeah.
Did we ever learn their names?
If we did, they weren't around enough to remember them.
Yeah. It really annoyed me because I do my notes. I'm like,
are they on IMDb?
I was just like, what are your names? I didn't.
They would be.
Yeah. I'm sure they probably do,
Maybe
on the cast list, but in the film they didn't. That annoyed me.
Maybe not.
So Amber was deceiving. Why, to get into the castle, why are we okay with this in movies? But, if that happened in real life, we'd be...
It's a big story.
We would be so against what she's done. But in a movie, it's like, so cute, so sweet.
That is a very...
In real life, I'd be like, hang her. She's broken into a royal family.
Because you don't get the other context.
No.
Yeah, she's broken into a royal family. She's uncovered a big secret.
Imagine the scandal.
She's basically looking after this little girl. That's huge.
Imagine someone snuck into Buckingham Palace before, Harry was married and he starts hooking up with her and...
It's a great point.
Crazy. I got one other one.
You know what? If that had happened, though, someone would be like, that would make a good movie. Maybe that's what happened here.
Oh, it's based on true story.
No, because it obviously didn't happen, but someone's thinking, yeah, true, Harry.
I got one more. So there's this scene where they go to the cabin in the woods. And, it's a nice little warm cabin with the fire going. And then Amber finds this folder with all the documents. And she obviously takes them with her. But you said they cut to her and him getting on the horse. She's got no bag, nothing. Well. Where did she shove this folder?
Thought that as well.
How did she carry it back?
Had to be under her shirt or something. But yeah.
Dodgy.
What was she wearing? She might have been wearing a big jacket or something. I don't know. But I thought that too.
Yeah, that did my head in. Yeah. All right. I think we...
Also, why'd they go to that cabin? Why didn't they just stay there the night? Because it was obviously they went to the cabin because it was late and they were a bit tired and cold and had a bit of a scare. But then they still went out later, which I'm assuming by now it's like 2 a.m.
Well, they needed to be able to see him coming back through the window by
true.
Simon and Sophia.
True.
All right, I think we're good to wrap this up. I hope. So, tell us, MJ, we like to give a rating out of 5. What are your thoughts on this film?
I mean, it does everything you expect it to do. It doesn't make it a good film, but if you're not in that target demo and you have the presence of mind to laugh at it occasionally without blaming the film for doing what it's doing, then you can still enjoy it for what it is. So for me, it's 2 stars.
Very good. All right, so like I said at the start, like this film was very cliche. It was like sugary sweet, and I struggled early on, but I got sucked in really badly.
Seems like you did.
I did.
I didn't expect you to.
Me either. This is one of those films I was like, oh,
Christmas, though.
yeah,
Christmas.
Maybe it's the time of the year. But I was like, oh, this is about a 1.5, and I'm giving it a 3.
Good. I'm glad.
I'm giving it a 3. I just enjoyed it. It was just nice. It was nice to have a film that you didn't have to worry about anything.
That's very true. I often think that sometimes.
Not very often I see a film where I'm just like, oh,
that
just made me happy. Like, it's just a happy film.
No, good, and it deserves a 3-star rating in that sense.
So that gives us an average of 2.5.
2.5. That feels right.
Yeah, just about right. So that's good.
See, we've spoken about it. Every time Heater's been absent for our podcast, we talk. I'm always just like, I wish Heater was here. Heater would have given that close to a 0. Heater would have hated every second.
Well, we are on social media. We have Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We're at Flix Forum. We pop a question up there. I don't know if I've gone early. I know we've got 3 days of Christmas movies.
Oh no, what's your favourite Christmas movie?
Yeah, what's your favourite Christmas movie? I've just gone with it for this one.
Yeah,
because I couldn't think of much else for this one.
It had to come up at one point.
So if we can get them out early enough for people to get their recommendations in, that could do well for Christmas.
Point. What is your favourite Christmas movie?
I do like a Muppets Christmas Carol.
Oh yeah,
that's one of the classics from when I was a kid. What about you?
I love It's a Wonderful Life. I think it's a great movie. In terms of like your more fun Christmas movies.
Elf, Bad Santa.
Elf's a good movie. Elf's very funny, actually. Yeah, Elf's not bad.
Jingle All the Way, I loved it when that came out.
Do you remember that movie? It's not necessarily Christmas, but Santa Claus is in it. Legend of the Guardian, or Rise of the Guardians. It's got like Santa Claus, Easter Bunny.
Yep. DreamWorks animated film.
I really enjoyed that film.
One as well, yeah.
And I think that was around end of the year when it came out. So I'm going to claim that as a Christmas movie as well.
Good.
That was good. Santa Claus is in it.
Yeah, true. Christmas movies are good, so give us some suggestions if you can on our post.
Give us some suggestions that we may not have known about.
We're going to give you a suggestion to watch tonight before our episode comes out tomorrow, because we're doing another Christmas film tomorrow. It's a black comedy from 2017, and it's called El Camino Christmas. It's directed by David E. Talbot. It stars Luke Grimes, Vincent D'Onofrio, Dax Shepard, Kurtwood Smith, Michelle Milett, Emilio Rivera, Kimberly Quinn, Jessica Alba, and Tim Allen.
It's a great cast.
Speaking of Tim Allen, Santa Claus.
Santa
Claus 1, 2, 3.
Gosh.
They were good Christmas movies.
That's a good point.
So yeah, that's a pretty good cast.
A great cast.
I love Vincent D'Onofrio. I know that's not how you say his last name, but I love him.
Yeah, I don't know how to say it. How do you say it?
He's such a good actor. But yeah, I'm looking forward. This is going to be good.
There's going to be a good couple of days, and this one seems like a nice change of pace as well. But
yeah. All right. Well,
Christmas is officially in gear now.
It is.
Podmas has been going for a while, which is Christmas enough, but I might wear a Santa hat tomorrow or the next.
Good. All right, bring it on.
It's warm weather, but
it is quite warm. Well, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you again tomorrow.
See how we go. You will see me tomorrow.
And yeah, have a good night.
Have a good night. See ya.